I always thought betrayal came from enemies, not from the two people I trusted most, my fiancée, Lily Parker, and my best friend, Jason Reed. If you had asked me a day before that night, I would have said I was lucky. 5 years, man, Jason said once, clapping my shoulder. You're actually going to marry her. I laughed. Yeah, crazy, right? Not crazy, he said. Just surprising you pulled it off. Pulled what off? Keeping someone like Lily, he smirked. I didn't think much of it. I should have. That night was supposed to be perfect. My engagement celebration, a private hall decorated exactly how Lily wanted. White roses, soft lights, everything elegant. I planned it all myself, every detail, every surprise. I even came early. I want to see her reaction, I told the event planner over the phone. I'll be there before everyone. Of course, sir, she replied. I hung up, smiling. This was it, the start of our future. Or at least, that's what I believed. When I reached the hall, the doors were slightly open. I frowned. That's weird, I muttered. I stepped inside quietly. Hello? I called out. No answer. But then I heard something. Laughter, soft, familiar. Lily. I smiled. She's early too, I whispered. I walked further in. Lily? I called again. Still no answer. Just laughter. And then I saw her, standing near the center of the room, in Jason's arms. My brain didn't process it at first. It didn't make sense. Not in this place, not like this. But then she leaned in and kissed him. Everything inside me stopped. Not slowed, not cracked, stopped. I didn't move. I couldn't. I just stood there, watching the two people I trusted most act like I didn't exist, like I had never existed. My voice came out before I realized I was speaking. Lily? They both froze. She stepped back instantly. Daniel. Jason didn't. He just looked at me, calm, unbothered, like this was expected. Daniel, it's not what you think, Lily said quickly. I stared at her. Then what is it? She opened her mouth, closed it, looked at Jason, then back at me. Jason sighed. You were going to find out anyway, he said. My hands clenched. Find out what? That this wasn't going to last, he replied. This? I laughed quietly. You mean my relationship? He shrugged. If you want to call it that. I took a step forward. Jason, what are you doing? What does it look like? Like you're betraying me. He tilted his head. Or maybe I'm just being honest. Honest? I repeated. By going behind my back? He smirked slightly. You really think this started today? That hit harder than anything. I looked at Lily. Tell me he's lying. She didn't answer. Lily? She looked down, then said it. We didn't plan for it to happen like this. My chest tightened. How long? Silence. How long? I asked again. A few months, she whispered. A few months, while I was planning our future, while I was working late, while I was building everything for us. Jason crossed his arms. You were too busy playing perfect boyfriend to notice. I snapped my gaze to him, and you were too busy pretending to be my friend. He didn't react. Because he didn't need to. He had already won. 5 years of love, 10 years of friendship, gone, just like that. I looked at Lily again. Tell me this isn't real. She met my eyes, and for a second, I saw something, not guilt, not regret, just decision. I chose him, she said. No hesitation, no apology, just truth. The kind that cuts deeper than any lie. I took a step back. You chose him. Yes? Over me. Yes. Each answer felt like a blade. Clean, precise, final. Why? I asked. She hesitated this time, then said softly, because he understands me. I laughed. A broken sound. I've spent 5 years understanding you. I know, she said. But it's different. Different how? She didn't answer. Jason did. Because I don't try to fix her, he said. I let her be who she is. I shook my head. So that's it? That's enough, he replied. I looked between them, the woman I was about to marry, the man I trusted with everything, standing together, like I was the outsider, like I didn't belong. I felt something shift inside me. Not anger, not yet, just emptiness. So what now? I asked. Lily swallowed. I was going to tell you tonight. At our engagement party? She winced slightly. I didn't want to embarrass you. I laughed again. You're doing a great job of that already. Jason sighed. Let's not drag this out. I turned to him slowly. Of course you'd say that. Because there's nothing left to say, he replied. Nothing for you, I said. He didn't respond, because he didn't care. That was the truth. He had already moved on. Not while I was still catching up. I looked at Lily one last time. Did you ever love me? She hesitated, and that hesitation was my answer. I did, she said finally. Past tense. She didn't correct me. Of course she didn't. I nodded slowly. Okay. The word felt strange, too small for something this big, but it was all I had. I turned away. I couldn't stand there anymore. Couldn't keep looking at them, at what they had become, at what I had lost. Daniel, Lily called. I didn't stop. Daniel, wait. I kept walking, because if I stopped, I didn't know what I would say, or do, or feel, and I didn't trust any of it. I reached the door, my hand on the handle. Then I paused, not for them, for me. I took a breath, then another, and walked out. The hallway felt colder, quieter, empty, like everything had been stripped away. I stood there for a moment, trying to process it, trying to understand how everything could collapse so fast. That's when I heard footsteps, slow, controlled. I turned slightly and saw her, Eva Parker, Lily's older sister, leaning against the wall, arms crossed, watching. She straightened as our eyes met. Well, she said calmly, that was entertaining. I frowned. You were watching? Of course, she replied. I wouldn't miss this for anything. Why? She smiled slightly. Because I've been waiting for this moment. I stared at her. You knew? Please, she said. I know my sister better than anyone. And you didn't tell me? She shrugged. Would you have believed me? I didn't answer, because she was right. I probably wouldn't have. She stepped closer. Besides, she added, I wanted to see how far she'd go. And her smile sharpened. She didn't disappoint. There was no sadness in her voice, no sympathy, just satisfaction. You hate her, I said, more than you can imagine. I looked back at the door, then at her. Why are you telling me this? She tilted her head. Because you just lost everything. I clenched my jaw. Feels like it. She smiled again. Slow, calculated. No, she said. You just lost the wrong people. I frowned. What does that mean? It means, she stepped closer, lowering her voice slightly, you're finally free. Free? I repeated. From what? From them, she said simply. I looked at her, trying to understand, trying to figure out why she sounded so certain. So, what now? I asked. Her eyes locked onto mine, sharp, focused. Now, she said, her smile widened just enough to feel dangerous. Now we make them regret it. I didn't go home that night. I couldn't. Every corner of that place reminded me of her, of us. So I ended up at a bar. Dim lights, low music, the kind of place where no one asked questions. I sat alone, staring at a glass I hadn't really touched. The bartender glanced at me. You gonna drink that? He asked. Eventually, I muttered. He shrugged and walked away. I let out a slow breath. This is insane, I whispered to myself. A few hours ago, I had a future, a plan, a life I thought was real. Now, nothing, just silence, just emptiness, just questions I didn't want answers to. You look like a man who just lost everything. I froze. That voice, calm, cold, controlled. I looked up. Eva Parker stood there, elegant, sharp, completely composed, like the chaos from earlier hadn't touched her at all. She slid into the seat across from me without asking. I frowned. Do you always show up uninvited? She crossed her legs slightly. Only when it's interesting. I let out a dry laugh. Then tonight must be very entertaining for you. It is, she said simply. I shook my head. Glad someone's enjoying it. She studied me for a moment, not with sympathy, not with concern, just observation. You didn't go home, she noted. No, I said. Good. I raised an eyebrow. Good? You shouldn't go back to places that make you weak, she replied. I leaned back slightly. Everything feels like that right now. She nodded once. That's temporary. I looked at her. And you're an expert on that? I am, she said calmly. The bartender approached. What can I get you? Whiskey, she said. It's neat. He nodded and walked away. I watched her. You don't seem surprised by what happened. I'm not. You knew. Yes. And you just watched? She met my eyes. Like I said before, I wanted to see how far she'd go. I let out a slow breath. You really hate her. Her lips curved slightly. Hate is a simple word. Then what is it? She picked up her drink as it arrived, taking a small sip before answering. Understanding, she said. That doesn't sound the same. It isn't. I shook my head. Your family's messed up. She didn't deny it. They always favored her, she said. Lily? Yes? In what way? In every way, she replied. Attention, approval, opportunities. I frowned. And you? Second, she said simply. Always second. Something about the way she said it felt familiar. I looked down at my glass. Sounds like we have something in common. She smirked faintly. Not anymore. I looked back at her. What does that mean? She leaned forward slightly. Then let me offer you something better. I frowned. What do you mean? She held my gaze, steady, unshaken. Marry me. I blinked once, twice. Then I laughed. A short, disbelieving sound. Okay, I said. That's a good one. I'm not joking. I stopped laughing. You're serious? Very. I stared at her. Ava, we just met. No, she corrected. We've known each other for years. That's not what I meant. I know, she said. But it doesn't change the situation. I shook my head. This is insane. Is it? She asked. Yes. More insane than what just happened to you tonight? I opened my mouth, then closed it. Often she had a point, but still. Marriage? I said. That's your solution? It's not a solution, she replied. It's an opportunity. For what? She leaned closer. For both of us. I narrowed my eyes. Explain. She nodded slightly. My family controls more than you think, she said. Business, assets, influence. And Lily was supposed to inherit most of it. Was? Ava smiled faintly. That depends. On what? On who stands beside her, she said. I frowned. You're saying... I'm saying, she interrupted calmly, that if I get married first, things change. How? My grandfather values stability, she explained. Commitment, strategy. And marrying me proves that. It proves I'm not alone, she said, that I have someone capable beside me. I laughed quietly. You don't even know if I'm capable. She tilted her head. I know enough. Like what? You didn't break down in that hall, she said. You didn't beg. You didn't create a scene. I was in shock. Maybe, she said, but you still walked away. I didn't respond. Because she was right. She continued. That tells me you're not weak. I looked at her carefully. And what do I get out of this? She didn't hesitate. Revenge. The word landed hard. And, I asked. Power, she said. Control. I let out a slow breath. You make it sound simple. It is simple, she replied. Not easy, but simple. I ran a hand through my hair. This is crazy. Say that again, she said. After everything you lost tonight. I went quiet, because she wasn't wrong. Nothing about my life made sense anymore. So why was this the line? Why me? I asked finally. She held my gaze, unblinking. Because you have nothing left to lose. The words hit deeper than I expected. I looked down at my glass, then back at her. You're really confident about that. Aren't you? She replied. I thought about it, about Lily, about Jason, about the life I thought I had. It was gone, completely. So what was I holding on to? Nothing. I let out a quiet laugh. This is insane, I said again. Yes, she agreed, and dangerous. Yes, and probably a terrible idea. Most good strategies are, she said calmly. I shook my head. You don't even pretend this is about love. No, she said. I don't. At least you're honest. I always am. I studied her. There was no hesitation in her, no doubt. Just clarity. Cold, sharp, precise. So, what happens after? I asked. After what? After we get married. She leaned back slightly. We build something, she said. Something real? She paused. then answered, "Something effective." I smirked faintly. "That's not the same thing." "No," she said, "but it works." Silence settled between us, not uncomfortable, just heavy. I tapped my fingers lightly against the glass. "You really thought this through." "I always do." "And if I say no?" She shrugged slightly. "Then I find someone else." That didn't bother me. What bothered me was how easy that sounded, like I was just a piece in a plan. "Why not someone else then?" I asked. "Because you're the best option," she said. "Right now." I raised an eyebrow. Honest again. Always. I exhaled slowly. My mind ran through everything. The betrayal. But the anger, the emptiness, and then this. A deal. A partnership. A way forward. Twisted. Unusual, but clear. I looked at her. "You don't care about feelings at all, do you?" "I care about results," she replied. "Feelings complicate things." I nodded slowly. "Yeah, they do." Another moment passed. Then I asked, "If we do this, there's no turning back, right?" She shook her head. "No." "And you won't hesitate?" "Never." I believed her. That was the strange part. I actually believed her. I leaned back in my chair, staring at the ceiling for a second, then back at her. "You're serious about destroying them?" "Yes." "And you think I am too?" "I know you are," she said. I let out a long breath. Because maybe she was right. Maybe I didn't want to just move on. Maybe I wanted them to feel it. Everything I felt. "All right," I said quietly. She didn't react, didn't smile, didn't celebrate, just waited. I met her eyes and said it clearly. "Yes." That's when she smiled, not warmly, not softly, but with satisfaction. "Good," she said. And just like that, everything changed again. 2 weeks later, I stood in front of a mirror, adjusting a suit I never imagined wearing so soon. A wedding suit. "Still time to run," I muttered to my reflection. The door opened behind me. "Running doesn't suit you," Ava said. I met her eyes in the mirror. "You always this confident?" I asked. "Yes." "Even now?" "Especially now." I turned to face her. She looked exactly like she always did. Composed, elegant, untouchable, no nerves, no hesitation. "You don't seem nervous," I said. "I don't believe in wasting energy," she replied. "This is a big decision." "I had already made it," she said. I studied her for a second. "And if this goes wrong?" She tilted her head slightly. "It won't." "That's not an answer." "It's the only one that matters." I let out a quiet breath. "Right." She stepped closer, on fixing my collar without asking. "Focus," she said. "This isn't about doubt. It's about strategy," I replied. "Exactly." I nodded slowly. "Then let's finish it." She stepped back. "Good." A few minutes later, we walked toward the hall together, not side by side, not touching, just aligned. The doors opened, and everything went silent. Whispers started instantly. "What's going on?" "Is that?" "No way." I ignored all of it. My eyes moved across the room. Faces I recognized. Faces that recognized me. Confusion, shock, curiosity. Then I saw her. Lily, standing near the front, Jason beside her, both dressed like they were attending an engagement party. Not a wedding, not this wedding. Her eyes met mine, and everything changed. "What is this?" she demanded. Her voice cut through the room, sharp, unsteady. I stopped a few steps away, calm. "This is my wedding," I said. The words felt strange, but solid, real. She shook her head. "No," she said. "No, this isn't. What are you doing?" I didn't respond immediately. Because there was nothing to explain, nothing she hadn't already chosen. Jason stepped forward. "You're just doing this to get back at us," he said. I looked at him. For the first time since that night, I felt nothing. "No," Eva said before I could speak. Her voice was calm, controlled. "We're doing this to move forward." Jason frowned. "With him?" he asked. Eva smiled slightly. "Yes?" Lily looked between us, her expression shifting, confusion, disbelief, something deeper. "You can't be serious," she said. "I am," I replied, her eyes locked onto mine. "Daniel, this isn't you." I almost laughed. You don't know what me is anymore." "That's not true." "It is," I said. "You stopped trying a long time ago." She flinched slightly. "I didn't think—" "I know," I interrupted. "That's the problem." Silence fell again, heavier this time. The whispers around us grew louder. "Is that her sister? They actually got married? This is insane." I ignored all of it. My focus stayed on Lily, because for the first time, she wasn't in control. "Why would you do this?" she asked. I tilted my head slightly. "Why wouldn't I?" "Because this isn't real." I glanced at Ava, then back at Lily. "It's real enough." "That's not what I mean," she said quickly. This is just reaction." "Maybe," I said. "Or maybe it's a decision." Jason scoffed. "This is a mistake." I looked at him. "Not yours to worry about." He stepped closer. "You're making this worse than it already is." "Worse for who?" I asked. He didn't answer, because he knew. Ava stepped slightly forward. "Let's not turn this into something unnecessary," she said calmly. Lily turned to her. "You planned this." "Yes. Why?" Ava met her gaze. "Because I was tired of being second." The words landed hard. Lily's expression shifted again. "You're doing this to compete with me?" "No," Ava said. "I'm doing this to surpass you." A few people gasped quietly. Jason looked irritated now. "This is ridiculous," he said. "You think marriage is a game?" Ava didn't react. "I think life is a game," she replied. "Marriage is just one move." I almost smiled at that, because it sounded exactly like her. Lily looked back at me. "Mike Daniel, please." That word again, please. But this time, it didn't mean anything. "Don't do this," she said. "I already did," I replied. Her voice dropped. "You don't love her." I didn't answer, because that wasn't the point. "That's not what this is about," she continued. "You're right," I said. "Then what is it about?" I held her gaze. "It's about not standing still anymore." She shook her head. "This isn't moving forward. This is running away." "No," I said quietly. "This is choosing a direction." The room went silent again. Even the whispers faded, because now everyone was listening, watching, waiting. Jason exhaled sharply. "You're making a decision you'll regret." I looked at him. "Maybe," I said. "But at least it's mine." That shut him up, for once. Ava glanced at me briefly. Approval, subtle. But there. The officiant cleared his throat nervously. "Should we proceed?" Ava didn't hesitate. "Yes," I nodded. "Yes." Lily stepped forward suddenly. "No," she said. "Wait." But I didn't look at her, not anymore, because that part was over. The ceremony started, simple, quick, efficient, exactly how Eva wanted it. "Do you take—" "I do," she said before the sentence finished. The room shifted again. Tension, shock, energy. Then it was my turn. I paused for half a second, not because I doubted, but because I understood. This wasn't just a moment, it was a line. And once I crossed it, there was no going back. I looked forward, then said it clearly. "I do." That was it. No applause, no celebration, just silence. Heavy, loud, real. The officiant nodded quickly. "And then, I now pronounce you—" He finished the sentence, but I barely heard it because my attention shifted back to Lily. She was still standing there, still watching, but her expression had changed completely. Not anger, not disbelief, not even sadness. Something deeper, something quieter. Regret, the kind that comes too late, the kind that doesn't fix anything. Our eyes met one last time. She didn't speak, didn't move, just stood there, realizing, understanding, too late. I turned away first, because I didn't need anything else from that moment. Not closure, not explanation, not apology. It was already done. And for the first time, I felt it. Not revenge, not satisfaction, control, clear, steady, unshaken. Ava stepped beside me. "Ready?" she asked quietly. I nodded. Yeah, we walked forward together, past the whispers, past the stares, past the past. And this time, I didn't look back. After the wedding, everything changed. Not all at once, not in some dramatic explosion, but steadily, clearly, unavoidably. I noticed it the first morning I woke up in Eva's house. Not her house, ours. She was already awake, sitting at the table with a laptop open. "You're up," she said without looking at me. "Barely," I replied. She glanced up briefly. "We have a meeting in an hour." I frowned. "The day after our wedding?" She raised an eyebrow. "Did you expect a honeymoon?" I smirked slightly. "Fair point." She closed the laptop. "Get dressed," she said. "We have work to do." That was Eva. Direct, focused, always moving forward. And somehow, it worked. Days turned into weeks, weeks into months, and somewhere in that time, we became something unexpected. A team. "You're thinking too small," she said during one meeting. "I'm being careful," I replied. "You're hesitating." "I'm calculating." She leaned forward slightly. "Then calculate faster." I held her gaze. Or you get left behind." I almost laughed. "You really don't believe in slowing down, do you?" "No," she said, "because the world doesn't wait." I nodded. "Then we won't either." That's how it went. Back and forth. Push and pull, but never once. Did she treat me like I was second? Not in meetings, not in decisions, not even in private. "What do you think?" she asked one evening, sliding a document toward me. I skimmed through it. "This could work," I said. "Could?" she asked. "It needs adjustment," she nodded. "Then adjust it. No dismissal, no ego, just trust." And that was new. That was different. All people started noticing. "You two are everywhere," Ryan said during a call. "Is that a bad thing?" I asked. "No," he laughed. "It's impressive." "We're just getting started," I said. "I can see that," he replied. "And honestly..." "What?" "You look different." I leaned back slightly. "Different how?" "Like you actually know what you're doing." I smiled faintly. Maybe I do. But while everything in my life was building, something else was falling apart. Lily, I didn't see it at first, didn't think about it, didn't care, until people started talking. "Did you hear about Jason?" someone said at an event. "No, what happened?" "Bad investments, lost a lot of money." I didn't react, just listened. "And Lily?" "She's still with him. For now." For now. That phrase stuck with me, not because I felt anything, Hanson, but because it sounded familiar. Too familiar. A few weeks later, I heard more. "He's been reckless. Spending like nothing matters. They're fighting a lot." I ignored it, because it wasn't my problem, not anymore. Until one night, it became my problem. The doorbell rang. Late. Too late for business. I frowned slightly. "Expecting someone?" Eva asked from the couch. "No." She stood up. "I'll get it." "No," I said. "I will." I walked to the door, opened it, and there she was. Lily, standing there like she didn't belong, like she had nowhere else to go. Her eyes were red, her posture unsteady. Everything about her different. "Daniel," she said softly. I didn't move. "What are you doing here?" "I needed to see you." "That's not a reason." Her hands trembled slightly. "Please, just let me talk." I hesitated, then stepped aside. 5 minutes. She nodded quickly. "Thank you." She walked in slowly, looking around like she had entered a different world. Because she had. Eva stepped into the hallway. Her eyes met Lily's, calm, unshaken. "Evening," Eva said. Lily looked down slightly. "Hi." I closed the door. "Say what you came to say." Lily turned to me, took a breath. I made a mistake. There it was, simple, expected, late. "I want you back." I stared at her. This was the same woman who once walked away without hesitation. Now, she looked like she was barely holding herself together. "Why?" I asked. Her voice shook. "Because I chose wrong. At least you're honest." "I didn't understand before," she said, "but I do now." "Understand what?" "You," she replied. I almost laughed. "Now you understand me?" "Yes?" "After everything?" She nodded, tears forming again. "Jason isn't who I thought he was." I crossed my arms. "And who is he?" Her jaw tightened. "He's careless?" I said nothing. "He spends money like it doesn't matter." I stayed silent. "He doesn't think about consequences." Still nothing. "And when things go wrong?" Her voice broke. "He blames everyone else." I looked at her carefully. That sounds familiar. She flinched. I know what you're thinking. Do you? Yes, she said, and you're right. That surprised me. You didn't appreciate me, I said. No, she admitted. You didn't respect me. No. You didn't choose me. Her voice dropped. No. The honesty was new. Too late, but real. I thought I wanted something better, she continued. And now? I asked. I know I already had it. Silence filled the room. Ava didn't move, didn't interrupt, just watched, letting it unfold. I want another chance, Lily said, her voice soft, desperate, hopeful, all at once. I looked at her, really looked at her, and realized something simple. She wasn't here because she loved me more. She was here because she lost something stable, something real. And now she wanted it back. But I wasn't that man anymore. Not the one who waited, not the one who hoped, not the one who stayed. I'm not the same person you left, I said quietly. She nodded quickly. I know. That's why I'm here. I shook my head. No. Her expression faltered. What do you mean? I mean, I said, you're too late. The words settled between us. Final, unavoidable. Her breath caught. Daniel? I've already moved on. She glanced at Eva briefly, then back at me. I can see that. There was something in her eyes, not just regret, but understanding, the kind that comes after everything falls apart. I wasn't ready before, she whispered. I know. But I am now. I held her gaze. And I'm not. That was the truth. Clear, simple, complete. And for the first time, I meant it completely. Lily stood in front of me, tears already falling. I still love you, she said. Her voice broke on the last word. For a moment, I didn't respond. Not because I didn't hear her, but because I finally understood her. Really understood her. And that made everything clear. Say something, she whispered. I looked at her, not the way I used to, not with hope, not with longing, just clarity. You didn't love me, I said. She froze, like the words didn't make sense. Don't say that, she replied quickly. That's not true. It is, I said calmly. Her head shook slightly. No, I loved you. I was going to marry you. You were, I agreed. And then you chose someone else. Her lips trembled. I made a mistake. That's not what this is about. Then what is it about? She asked. I took a slow breath. It's about why you loved me. She frowned through her tears. I don't understand. You loved the version of me that was always there for you, I said. She blinked, confused, hurt. What does that even mean? It means, I continued, you loved the version of me who waited. Her expression shifted. Who forgave, I added. Who stayed? No matter what. She shook her head. That's not fair. It's accurate. Tears fell faster now. I didn't think of it like that. I know, I said. That's the problem. Silence, heavy, unavoidable. Behind me, I could feel Eva's presence. Still, quiet, watching. She didn't interrupt, didn't step in, she didn't need to. Because this moment was mine. I came back, Lily said softly. Doesn't that mean something? I looked at her. It means you realized what you lost. Her breath caught. That's not the same as love. It is for me, she said. No, I replied. It's regret. She flinched like I had hit her. I'm here now, she insisted. I'm choosing you now. I almost smiled, but there was no warmth in it. That's exactly the problem. Her brows pulled together. Why is that a problem? Because I'm not something you choose after everything else fails. Her voice cracked. You're not everything else. I was, I said. The truth settled between us. Cold, clear, final. I was the one you came back to, I continued. The one you kept as an option. I didn't see you that way, she whispered, but you treated me that way. She couldn't argue with that, because she knew. Deep down, she knew. I was scared, she said. Of what? I asked. Of making the wrong choice. I nodded slowly. So you chose what felt safer. She didn't deny it. And when that fell apart, her voice dropped. I realized I already had what I needed. I held her gaze. No, I said quietly. You realized it was gone. Tears streamed down her face now. I'm trying to fix it. You can't. Why not? She cried. Because this isn't something you fix. Her shoulders shook. Then what am I supposed to do? I didn't answer right away, because the truth wasn't easy. You accept it, I said finally. She stared at me. Accept what? That you made a choice. Her breath trembled. And it cost you. The room felt smaller, quieter, like everything else had disappeared. I never thought I would lose you, she whispered. I nodded once. I know. That's why it hurts so much. I know that too. She took a shaky step forward. Then why won't you just give us another chance? There it was. The question she kept coming back to. The one that used to control me. The one that used to define me. But not anymore. I'm not your second chance, I said. The words came out steady, firm, unshaken, her face crumbled. Please. I'm someone else's first choice now. That was the moment everything broke, completely. She covered her mouth, trying to hold back the sob that escaped anyway. It didn't work. Her shoulders shook, her breathing uneven, her entire world collapsing in front of her. And for the first time, I didn't move, didn't step forward, didn't try to fix it, because it wasn't mine to fix anymore. I lost you, she whispered. I didn't respond. Because we both knew the answer. She had. Not in this moment, but long before. She wiped her face, trying to steady herself. I really did love you, she said again. I looked at her. And this time, I believed her. In her own way, at her own time. But it wasn't enough. It never was. I know, I said quietly. That was all. No anger, no blame, just truth. She nodded slowly, like she finally understood, like she finally accepted it. I hope you're happy, she said. I didn't answer immediately. Because happiness wasn't what this was about. This was something deeper, something stronger. I will be, I said. She took a step back, then another, each one heavier than the last. She turned toward the door, paused, but didn't turn around this time, didn't ask again, didn't try to change my mind, because she knew. There was nothing left to say, nothing left to fight for. The door opened, then closed, and just like that, she was gone, for good. The silence that followed was different, not painful, not heavy, just still. I exhaled slowly, like I'd been holding something in for years, and finally let it go. Footsteps approached behind me. Ava. You didn't hesitate, she said. I turned slightly. She was watching me, not with curiosity, not with doubt, just recognition. No, I replied, because I hadn't. Not once, not when it mattered, not when it counted, not when I finally had to choose. She studied my face for a moment. Most people would have. Most people aren't me, I said. A faint smile touched her lips. That's becoming more obvious. I looked at her, really looked at her. Until she had been there through all of it, not emotionally, not gently, but consistently, clearly, honestly. You didn't say anything, I said. I didn't need to. Why not? Because you already knew what to do. I nodded slowly. She was right. For the first time in my life, I didn't need someone to tell me my worth. I didn't need validation. I didn't need permission. I just knew. I made my choice. I said, yes, she replied, and I'm not going back. You won't, she said. Not a question, a statement, certain, confident. I let out a small breath, then smiled slightly. No, I said, not this time. Because this time, I didn't choose comfort. I didn't choose familiarity. I didn't choose the past. I chose myself. And maybe I chose her too.